Hi, I'm Tim Hughes here. I'm the CEO and co-founder of DLA Ignite. With me today, I have the other co-founder of DLA Ignite, Adam Gray. Hello, Adam.
Hi, Tim. I must say that although I've done loads and loads of live streams and things, I'm actually really excited to be on a Tim Talk because I've seen the list of people that you have Tim talked with over the years that we've been together. It's just
It's over 200. It's over 200 people, yeah.
And it's a who's who of who's influential in the world of digital and marketing and business. So I am genuinely honoured.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So today we're going to talk about why your marketing isn't working.
Yeah.
So just give us a brief outline of your career, because you're from the background of your where you sit is a bit of a giveaway about actually where you started your life.
Yeah, well, I knew I was going to be a concert violinist, so I went to music college and I studied violin. And because of an injury and a lack of talent, I realised that wasn't actually the course of action for me. And then for many years, I kind of was in the world of business, in retail, and then in marketing, and then in consulting.
So you ran you were in hi-fi, and then you ran your own hi-fi shop that was opposite Harrods. And
Indeed, which was very exciting. We got to meet some very interesting people, royal families and heads of state and celebrities and that sort of thing. So that was really great. But I realised when we were running that the thing that really excited me was getting people into the store rather than dealing with them when they were in the store. And one of the guys that was involved in the business ran a marketing agency, and then I ultimately went to work for him. And that was great because I was then traveling the world and helping large clients sort of implement these ideas. Then I ran my own agency, and then whilst I was running that agency, I saw that, well, to move on to our topic, I saw that marketing was becoming rather a lottery. So you'd run a campaign that would be massively successful, and then you'd run a campaign which would be absolutely dead, and then you'd run a campaign that'd be absolutely dead, and then you'd run a campaign that'd be successful, and there didn't seem to be any rhyme nor reason. So up until that point, it had been very much cause and effect. We run this kind of campaign at this time of year. This is the result that we would expect to get, 20% yield or whatever on that campaign. And then that didn't seem to work anymore. So sometimes you'd get a following wind and you'd get some success, but a lot of time you wouldn't. And I saw at that point that social was up and coming in the world. So I wrote a book about it, thinking the way that I will monetize myself is not by building a business that I can sell, but by becoming famous so I can charge loads of money for it. And then I was recruited into Oracle, where ultimately I met you. And the rest, as they say, is history. You know, when we both left Oracle, we both had this kind of epiphany, I guess, that there was nobody filling our niche in the world, helping businesses deploy social. And I think that what's really, and I think what's really interesting is that every organization that I have had any encounter with, when I was at Oracle and since we set up the business, every business has assumed that social is a marketing broadcast channel.
Yeah.
So they run campaigns on their owned properties, and they maybe get engagement on those, particularly in the B2C space. They maybe get engagement on those. You know, Nike, Aston Martin, Rolex will all get lots of engagement on their brands because they're loved brands that
they're loved.
Yeah, built up a huge following. In the B2B space, much less so. But even so, that's kind of missing the point, because that's taking it's I guess a development of the thinking that we'll do it in newspapers. You know, we'll push our message out. We'll do it on radio. We'll push our message out. We'll do it on television. We'll push our message out. We'll do it on the internet. We'll push our message out. We'll do it on social. We'll push our message out. But now people have choice in a way that they've never had choice before.
Yeah.
And now you don't have to watch TV at the times that previously you would have had to have watched it. When we were at school, You know, you'd go into school on a Tuesday morning and you'd talk about what you watched on TV on Monday night. And now the world doesn't work that way anymore.
Yeah.
People consume things in a different way. People are more educated about what they're buying. It's very easy these days to find who the competitors of any company are. And it puts an entirely different perspective on it. And the learning that I have had is that people don't want to be sold to anymore. It's as simple as that. You know, they want to feel that they're empowered, don't they?
Yeah. So we've had a lot of people come to us who said marketing doesn't work anymore. And I know when I ever say this, people always say, yeah, but it's their marketing that's not working anymore, because people hide behind the fact that of course, my marketing is working. It's you that's the problem. So why is it that you think that marketing isn't working anymore?
Well, my own experience on this is that it doesn't have any predictability anymore. You know, so when we started the business, obviously one of the things we wanted to develop was a program and a process and a rationale that was predictable and repeatable. Because the fact that I posted something and it went viral, that's not a business, that's luck. You know, if you can post something where you get a reliable yield from that every single time, that's something that you can build a business on. So our own learnings had told us that the traditional ways of marketing that were so volatile in terms of their success or failure rate weren't effective anymore. Then I remember that somebody who subsequently has become a champion of ours, that was head of marketing at one of these businesses, we sat down with her and she said, to be frank, guys, marketing doesn't work anymore. And we just thought, well, it showed incredible bravery, but also insight to say, you know, I've been doing this for 20 years and it's always been done this way. And I'm not going to do it that way anymore because it isn't delivering what I consider to be reasonable results anymore.
And you know, she was using email marketing as a mechanism. And she said, and I don't know what the figures were, but gradually, you know, that the email marketing just
it flatlined, didn't it? And you wanted to get the defibrillator out to bring it back to life, but it was beyond the point, and we know why. You know, and this is the irony of this stuff is that you open your email client in the morning, and in it there are 20 unread messages, and during the course of the day another 20 or 30 or 50 unread messages arrive. All of them are from people saying the same thing, which is, I've got a great product, it'll solve this problem that everybody's got. And everybody says we are customer focused, we are reliable, we're in the top quartile, we are exceptional value for money, guaranteed result. Everybody says all of the same things. So when 20 people are telling me they've got the best product, why would I believe any of them? And you know, we all delete those things, we all block those senders, we all put them into the trash bin and mark them as spam. And then we go into work, we sit down at a desk and we commission exactly those same things that have annoyed us up until the point that we've commissioned them. And there is an awful irony to that, isn't there?
So why is it that why let's take advertising. So why do you think that advertising doesn't work?
Well, I think it doesn't work because it's not believable anymore. You know, once upon a time there was, and maybe this is my rose-tinted glasses and the age I am, there was honor. You know, we've got the fastest car in the world, or we've got the best handling car in the world. And if you said that, it would be because it was true. And now, you know, we have alternate facts. You know, so your car might have gone around the track quicker than mine, but mine's still the fastest car. And so none of the narrative which is given is believable. And I think from an advertiser's perspective, the problem is that there aren't 2 commercial TV channels anymore. There are hundreds of commercial TV channels, tens of thousands of publications, an infinite number of websites, all of which you can place your advert on. So rather than talking to, as you would have done during the Morecambe and Wise Christmas special, 25 million people, you're now talking to 1/25 millionth of that audience because everybody's so distributed and scattered across these different channels. So there isn't the opportunity for you to spend enough money to get the coverage you need to overcome the fact that 99.99% of people don't engage or believe the stuff that you're sharing.
So why don't I? So if I just advertise on social, so if people are on social media, let's just assume that for a second. Why don't I just put all my advertising into social?
Well,
and
I
buy,
mean,
buy searches, pay per click, SEO ads. Why don't I just do all that?
well, I think that for many organizations, that's their starting point, isn't it? They look at social and they go, well, it doesn't work on these channels anymore. People engage more on social, therefore I will advertise on social. But again, if you are ruthlessly able to put yourself in the shoes of the recipient of this content, you go to Facebook, and on Facebook, you have the people that you love most dearly. Your life partner, your friends, your siblings, people you went to school with, all of that group of people. And then I shoehorn my brand in front of you. And it feels invasive, and it feels like you've been violated, and you can't get rid of it quickly enough. I mean, Gary Vee tells the funny story about when his basketball team that he likes were going to buy LeBron James or whoever it was, and he was on ESPN, and he was got the news feed from this, and he kept going to news, and he's flicking backwards and forwards between these different feeds on his phone. And he said that he kept going to ESPN, and this banner ad kept popping up for Samsung, and he's got big fingers, so he's trying to close the banner ad. And one time in 3, he clicks the ad, and he goes through to the Samsung page saying, "Here's our fantastic new TV." And the Samsung marketing manager is saying, "Wow, check this guy out. He's so engaged, he keeps looking at our advert." And Gary Vee, he said he's on the phone to his wife saying, "We're not going to buy a Samsung product until I'm dead because it's so annoying." Not Samsung, but the advertising way of doing things. and I think that often we lose sight of the fact. We never say, "Do unto others as we would have done unto ourselves." So we want to find impartial advice, not adverts. You want something you can trust. Who do I trust? Well, I trust the people that I know and like and love. So you're my business partner and my friend. I love you. My wife, I love her. Loads of my friends I really like. The people that I've worked with for years. Hi, Susan. People that I've worked with for years, I trust those people. People that I've met once or twice, I trust those people more than people that I haven't met. People that give me their opinion on stuff. So it's you may have the best product in the world, but when you tell me it's the best product in the world, you have a vested interest in me believing it's the best product in the world. Whereas if I say this is the best phone in the world, I have no vested interest in you buying an iPhone.
But the thing is, if I say it's the best, if I come to the market and say I have the best accounting system in the world and place an advert, the first thing you're going to do is go online and you're going to go to Google and put accounting systems, and you're going to check me out.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a friend who tells me adverts are great because I love them, because they tell me about things I don't know about, and I never buy from the company that's advertised because I always know I'll be able to buy it cheaper and better from somebody else.
Yeah.
So here are marketers placing ads, basically driving business to the competition.
And I think in many ways it's quite sad, because marketing has been a profession, and I mean that in the most positive way. Marketing has been a profession for many years, and people have learned the proven techniques and ways of measuring things. And now all of a sudden, the whole marketing function is cut adrift in a world where people don't actually engage with content in quite the same way that they did. And I think marketing is as a function is scared. I mean, we wrote a book about this, about how marketing and sales need to move more closely together. And the idea of a corporate communication to the marketplace, indeed, a good read, it must be said. The idea of a corporate communication to the market.
There's also the Vietnamese copy as well, so.
which is handy if you're in Vietnam.
Yeah,
but I think that marketers need to learn new skills. One of the things that they have been very good at previously is being pragmatic and measuring results. And the beauty about being in the social space is you can measure everything. You can measure the number of views, you can measure the amount of engagement, you can measure how far it's gone. And you can measure the output from that. Have we stimulated any conversation? So it's a sales and marketing funnel packaged up on somebody else's platform, where somebody else has the technical difficulties of making that work. And there are obviously multiple platforms you need to be on with different content and tone of voice and everything on those platforms. But a lot of the work is done for you, and it doesn't require the huge overheads that you might be used to with the email marketing software or the marketing automation software that you may previously have invested in. But that doesn't mean it's easy, or indeed that it's free.
So that's advertising, email marketing. Let's look at email marketing. Give me your experience of that, because I mean, I've seen research from HubSpot, and they sell email marketing systems. So they have a vested interest to basically talk it up, saying that email marketing now has a 98% failure rate. Now, if you came to our board of directors meeting and say, Tim, what we're going to do is invest in this, and I say, so what's it like? Well, it's got a 98% failure rate. You wouldn't get thrown out.
Indeed. Not only would that be thrown out, I would be thrown out. And I think that there is an irony to this about this constant decrease in value that organizations get from these things, that they are prepared to tolerate that. If your HR director, 98% failure rate in people they hired, you'd sack them. If your marketing automation software has a 98% failure rate, or even a 90% failure rate, you should sack it because it's fundamentally not working.
Well, we actually know an organization that bought a really expensive email marketing system, and their email marketing was crap. They got no response. So they basically bought another email marketing system that was really expensive and implemented that. And their response from email marketing was still zero.
Yeah. And I think that we see this in our own behaviors, but for some reason, we think that when we talk about our product or service, for some reason, people are going to love it. Obviously, we love it. We love it because it pays our mortgage. So you'll love it as the buyer of this. And I think that, there's no thrill quite like getting the number of unread emails in your inbox down to zero. It is delightful if you have an hour between meetings and you can spend your time unsubscribing from lists. Oh, I'd forgotten I subscribed to that newsletter. They've just emailed me. I can unsubscribe from it now.
I was thinking, actually, just before you came on, there's a great feeling that you get. That the horrible feeling when you go to YouTube and it plays that 5-minute advert and you're trying to click the button, trying to get rid of it. Yeah. There's also that thing that when you unsubscribe, and you get and there's a little MailChimp logo saying that you've unsubscribed, and you go, yeah, I won't get that again.
Yeah, and I think that our own resistance to engaging with email is a metaphor for exactly how most people behave. Nobody says, what I'm looking for is 20 cold emails from people I don't know today. And yet, even though we as salespeople feel that way, we still send 20 cold emails to people hoping that for some reason they'll view it differently, and they won't. And that's evidenced by the fact that cold emailing people is like cold calling people. They actually want to get you away as quickly as they possibly can. You're going to get a 0% response rate. And yeah, of course, there will be the anomaly. There will be the outlier. I remember that, I phoned last thing on a Friday night to that company, and the only person in the office was the chief exec, and they answered the phone and they said, okay, it's Friday. I've not got anything to do for a little bit. Why don't you pitch me what it is you've got? And I pitched them, and it was a fantastic deal, £500,000 straight up, and they've been the best client we've ever had since. And you go, yeah, fantastic. I'm really pleased for you. How many times has that happened? Well, once. When did it happen? Well, 1997. Okay, so it's been some time since this has happened, and you acknowledge yourself it's by luck. And I think that what we do is around creating a process that has an inevitable end result, which is that you get more conversations from people that want to talk to you.
So there was I'm on an email list of a cold caller, and he described people who talk about inbound, so talking about social, as charlatans. He did this about 2-3 weeks ago. What would you say to that?
I would say the proof of the pudding is in the eating. We've worked with a number of people now, and in fact, as you know, Tim, because we were delivering this workshop to a client, we began by saying, if you do everything that we tell you to do, we promise you will be successful. Now, there's an awful lot of ifs in that. You have to do everything, and everything is an ongoing behavioral change. But what we can honestly say is that in all the groups of people that we've worked with, those that have done everything they are supposed to do have benefited from doing so and feel that they're in control of their pipeline, that they have more opportunities, that they're spreading the risk amongst the organizations that they're talking to. They're not relying on very few, and that they know that if they post more stuff, connect to more people, send more messages, refine the way they convert those messages into Zoom calls or face-to-face meetings, they will increase the pipeline that they have. And they're confident of that, and we're confident of that. And I think that cold callers, yeah, you can be lucky. You can get through to the right person at the right time, but luck is not a good strategy. What you need is something where you say, if A, then B. And we know that if you double the number of connections that you have, you will double the number of people seeing your content, which means that you will double the number of times you'll happen to be in the right place at the right time. If you write better content and you double the amount of engagement you get, you've doubled the number of people that you know who they are, that you've then got a reason to send them a message that says, "Hi, Tim, thanks for liking my post yesterday. We've not spoken for a while. Do you fancy a chat?" And actually, this turning up each of those different dials a little bit, so I'll do a slightly better post. I'll connect to a few more people. I'll send a few more messages. I'll do a few more of this. You aggregate all of those things together, and what you end up with at the end of it is a mechanism which guarantees that you're going to get calls. Now, clearly, you have to be able to sell. If you're in a revenue generation place, you have to be able to sell stuff. But you've got to be, no matter how you get to the call, you've got to be able to sell stuff. And I think cold callers are often really concerned about this, because when we've said cold calling is dead, they think what we've said is the telephone is dead, which it isn't. I would rather have a telephone call with you than exchange an email message with you or a LinkedIn message with you. But what I don't want is a cold call. I want a warm call, a call where you know who I am, you know what it is we're going to talk about, and you're looking forward to having that conversation with me. And the problem with cold calling is that inevitably, when I cold call you, it's going to be at the wrong time. You're going to be running out the door, or just about to have your dinner, or just about to jump on a Zoom call, or just halfway through reading something, or it's never a good time for me to take up your time. And I think people are much less tolerant of that than they might have been a few years ago.
I don't take cold calls. I just don't, because the whole thing, we all know it just smacks of manipulation. And they'll have some sort of spreadsheet where the questions and it builds down to the answer has to be yes, and so the only way that you can get rid of them is basically to tell them to F off. And I just don't have time for that, so I never take them. And if anyone wants to talk to me, they'll leave a voicemail.
But I think the cold calling is it's not so much the calling thing; it's more the cold thing, isn't it? It's the fact that I'm making assumptions. I can solve the business problems that you have. You've no idea what my business problems are. I
had a guy cold call me and said, "I've got an app that allows to what we can do is that you put in the dimensions of your office car park, and we can get more car parking spaces." And I said to him, "I don't have an office," and he said, "Doesn't matter about that, but we've got this." And it's like, look, mate, we don't have an office. You can't sell me anything. In the whole point of sales is you only have 200 days. So stop spending the 200 days trying to convince me who isn't going to buy anything. And that's it's like you're just trying to manipulate people into buying stuff. And I'm just not interested in all that shit.
Well, I mean, I think the one that I get more than any in terms of cold outreach from people is, would you benefit from a constant stream of warm leads? To which my answer is always, I've got a constant stream of warm leads. That's what happens as a byproduct of me being active on social with a large network, is that I've got a constant stream of people that want to talk with me. So what can you bring me that I haven't already got? And I think that this is the thing, isn't it? It's for these people, it's a numbers game. And the big hitting sales professionals will tell you it's all about your research. But the stuff that I can research about you actually is nothing compared to what I'll get from having a conversation. And in order to win the right to have a conversation with you, I have to become somebody that has some rapport and some closeness with you. And I can't do that by picking up the phone and cold calling you, because instantly you're trying to put up barriers. So I need to find another way. I need to engage you on something you want to talk about. You love music, I love music. Okay, let's start there. You like cycling, I like cycling. Let's move on to that. And when I can demonstrate that I'm the same as you, I understand some of the things that you enjoy. We debate the fact that I hate the wall and you love the wall, or whatever the conversation is. That's where we forge the relationship and the friendship. And then maybe there's an opportunity at some point for us to work together. But the great thing about doing this in that sort of macro rather than micro level is that I don't need to close you today, because as long as I'm the right person with the right product to solve the problems that I know you have, and we've got some sort of relationship, you will buy from me. Maybe today, maybe next week, maybe next year, but at some point you'll be ready to buy, and then I'll be the person that you'll want to buy from. And I think that so often it's about, walking along the line of people. You're going to buy? No. Are you going to buy? No. Are you going to buy? No. Are you going to buy? Yes. Oh, great. And it's that numbers game. And it makes people feel that they are literally just a number, doesn't it?
Adam, thank you so much for popping in today and talking to us on Tim's Talk.
It's been a pleasure.
It was a bit of an experiment, because it's our first one on our company DLA Ignite LinkedIn page. We've just got LinkedIn Live capability on it. So, and it's good to see that Susan Brown popped in. So somebody out there has seen it. So we'll see what happens. It'll be interesting. I'd love to get people's feedback in terms of what they would like to see us producing in terms of format. Because, there's the breakfast burrito, there's a digital download, there's the Tim Talk. We've got a possibility to do something else using this LinkedIn Live stream. And it'd be interesting if people come up with suggestions.
That's a very good idea. Yeah. And we're flexible enough to do most things, aren't we, if people want them?
Well, within reason and legality, yes.
Well, thank you very much indeed.
Thanks, Adam. It's been a great chat. Thank you.
Yes, thanks.